What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Real Estate Investing Worldwide podcast. Also, with Team Legacy Elite, we just wanted to point that out since we actually started a real estate team here in New York, part of Keller Williams. But it's not about me today. Today is about this gentleman here, Khalid Mohammed. Khalid, welcome. How you doing, my friend?
I'm doing well. Thank you for having me.
Obviously, we've had conversations before this, but I wanted to start off by you introducing yourself. Tell us what you do and a little bit more about it.
Perfect. I'm a business strategist and marketing manager in the real estate sector here in Dubai. And we are a part of a developer company. We're constructing real estate projects all over Dubai's major landscapes. And I am MBA degree holder of uh, New York-based university, and I have a specialty in this very area. And now I'm concentrating more on real estate business strategy in a macro picture.
Amazing. So I know you had mentioned before that you lived here in New York. How did you like New York?
Yes, amazing. The city of it's a dynamic, fast-paced city with things going fast and fast and fast, and I've learned many things in that city, to be honest. And sometimes I missed it a lot.
Well, listen, you're
Yeah,
always here. Welcome to come back. If you ever come back, let me know. So
pleasure,
we'll take you some good spots.
pleasure.
Of course. Okay, so tell me a little bit more about it, about what you do. I know you're saying that you're the marketing manager, but can you dive a little bit deeper? What does that entail? What does your day to day look like?
Perfect. So basically, we're monitoring every change factor in the industry, and we're um navigating through those change factors, and we're trying to come up with solutions that um, prepare our company in front of those change factors. And we're screening the supply and demand relationship and mechanism in the market. And based on those indexes and characteristics, we're trying to pivot a strategy to target those overseas investors and make them ensure that the real estate market in Dubai is not a bubble. And we're trying to make them facing the reality of Dubai's real estate market, the futuristic vision, and every to-do list that they have to go through to invest in this market.
So tell me a little bit about that because I have heard that from various sources. Obviously, I know Dubai is definitely not a bubble. We see so much going on there. But how do you navigate that with the investors that are interested in buying in
Definitely,
Dubai?
definitely. So, as of Dubai's government initiative and uh, macro strategy in real estate sector, real estate sector is an alternative source of fossil fuel in UAE's GDP. So, by UAE, I mean United Arab Emirates. And this is a very vital and very dynamic economic sector in UAE that the country is heavily relied on. So, besides that, we're not talking about a sector, we're talking about industry and we're talking about economy. So, real estate in Dubai, in UAE, is an economy. So, it's very promising, it's very dynamic, it has cons and pros, but the point is, uh, we have a rise and fall in every decade. And Dubai Land Department, because of the nature of the market, which is very dynamic, tries to define a strategy compatible with those change factors. So it's not robust, it's very dynamic. So it's applicable for changes. So we have a strategy in Dubai's land department, which is the government entity responsible for setting rules, regulations, strategizing the whole construction development plans in the country and in the city, specifically in Dubai. And based on that, so I am personally trying to monitor those factors and try to foresee the next 5 years based on that strategy. And we're doing market analysis, of course, based on marketing characteristics, demography, geopolitical changes, geopolitical indexes that are affecting the real estate market in the very city of Dubai. And this whole mechanism is like a pivot.
Hmm.
So we're trying to make it more simple and make it more clear for our target market and our audiences. And basically, we're trying to make the macro picture to the micro picture.
Oh, definitely.
So we're
And
converting more data into readable, easy to understand data for our target market in Dubai.
got it. Now, what are some of the things like now that we're on that topic, what are some of the recent trends that you've been seeing in Dubai as opposed to maybe 10 years ago?
Definitely. Of course, it's a high tech story. So it's all about uh, new innovative solutions when it comes to market analysis, marketing campaigns, when it comes to a borderless economy in Dubai. So social media, of course, it is playing a big role, and we're trying more. We're seeing and more people are coming out of their countries and coming to Dubai. The niche people of rich upscale people from all around the world with, uh, I mean, high budget investors seeking to live and to invest in a safe and politically and geopolitically and economically a destination here in the Middle East, which is of course Dubai.
Yeah, I remember. No, that's very true. I mean, I remember we had a conversation. I believe it was last month before, this
Yes,
interview here. You had mentioned that previously too. It was more Dubai was more of a like a tourist. People came here for tourism, and now it's been kind of shifting as of more people are trying to come here and live. Can you talk a little bit about that?
absolutely. So the country is doing an indirect methodology for attracting investors from all over the world, and that's the country branding. What I'm saying, or I'm labeling it country branding. It means that okay, by empowering the tourism sector simultaneously you're going to empower the real estate sector. Why? So it's not about being flashy or spreading word of mouth all over the world that Dubai is famous of having high-rise towers, buildings, luxury shopping malls, shopping centers, or recreations and uh, new things are coming up to the luxury life and adding value to the luxury lifestyle of every human being in the world. No, it's not about that. It's about doing the conversion of tourism sector into the real estate sector. So this is apparently affecting the general, let's say, statistics of uh, real estate market that pays off big time. And I believe it was pretty much successful, especially after COVID, when the tourism industry worldwide witnessed skyrocketing numbers, and people came to Dubai as one of the countries that damaged less than or lesser than other uh, any other place in the world damaged from the government restrictions during COVID-19, and that was a successful experience, to be honest.
Yeah, no, it's
So
so true.
it's like you're coming as a tourist, and then it's like a country branding, and you're confronted with a lifestyle, and that lifestyle is promising for you, and you say, well, okay, so why not I move here? And okay, how can I work here? How can I buy property here? How can I invest in any capital asset management things? Or I can uh, bring money from my home country to here. And how can I be safe here? So all these pops up questions are popped up, and things are gonna be actualized for those tourists. I've seen many people. There were tourists and coming to visit this country and became determined to live here.
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head. I think the tourism part, the tourism aspect of the country is going to naturally affect the real estate. I have a very good example of this. So obviously you know what's going on in El Salvador, correct? The president that
Yes.
came in a few years ago, he really implemented strong actions against crime. It was, I
Yes.
believe, I don't quote me on saying this, but I believe it was one of the most dangerous places in the entire world just a few years ago. And he came in, he fought crime very hard. And I actually took a trip out there, right? We had some friends, me and my girlfriend, we actually flew out in March. And I heard about El Salvador, about how the crime significantly went down. So we went and we saw it for ourselves. And wow, amazing.
Wow.
Amazing. And over there, obviously, it's very investor friendly. That's what the government is trying to do. And there's a place called Bitcoin Beach. It's a whole place where obviously the national currency is Bitcoin, but there's a whole place
Wow.
called Bitcoin Beach, and people over there transacting Bitcoin. And it's the funniest thing because when I was there, I went to the gas station to try to pay, and I was like, "Hey, let me try to pay in Bitcoin." And then I
Wow.
asked the lady in the counter, I'm like, "Can I pay in Bitcoin?" And she kind of looked at me like, "Of course you can pay in Bitcoin. Like that's normal." She looked
Oh
like
my
me
God.
like I was a like an alien. But I
Yes.
say that to say this. So when I was there, I was shocked at how safe it was. You can
Yes.
walk in the city center, nothing like you didn't feel. So my family's from Colombia, right? So and I travel there very frequently. And there's parts that you feel like, okay, this is very sketchy. But I did not feel that way in El Salvador. And what happens? You fall in love with the city, you feel like it's safe. What's the next natural progression? You know what? I may consider buying here. And that's something I would love to actually do. I was talking about it with my cousin. Um, like you're seeing it. It's tough to hear it on the news and you hear it from other people, but it's when you're there, you're like, wow, like there's something going on here. And that's something similar to what I hear in Dubai, right? Like you hear about
Yes.
it, you talk to people about it, but the people that are actually there, they're like, no, Kevin, you have to see it. It's amazing. There's so much going on here. So, yeah, to your point, it's true. Tourism first, and it naturally starts trending into the real estate, and then people want to invest there. And obviously, it opens up even more possibilities
Yes.
for the country.
Yes, definitely. You mentioned one thing which was kind of interesting to me, that the crime rate is, you said, lower, right, comparing to
Oh,
before.
it's one of the most safest
Yes,
countries in the world now.
exactly. So it's like a political agenda when you're bringing money to any place. So you're bringing safety. You're bringing white collar people, educated people, upscale people. It's like you're selecting your demography to live there,
Hmm.
and those people are bringing more resources and money, and that place should be safe. Why? Because if you have unfiltered demography there, with I mean, I'm not trying to archetype
No,
any
I understand.
demography, but yeah, I talk generally and freely. So when you're not filtering that demography in a certain place, so it can be whole mess. So it's going to be things that are going to be haphazard, and crimes are going up, and corruption maybe. So I think this is the best way to pivot a strategy. You make safe cities with promising infrastructure, bring money, bring people, bring legacy corporations, legacy enterprises, and then you're empowering your economy. So this is a systematic operation, but it's not intentionally, governed by governments. It's not
Mm,
intentionally, let's say, orchestrated by those governments. It's mostly the political matter, to be honest. And then, m- macro speaking, uh, this is very important when you are uh, sitting with your investor and you're trying to speak heart to heart. You're trying to convince them, but you're trying to talk to them reality. You're talking to them facts. You're talking to them mathematics. So beside that promise and that like beautiful picture of the future of investment and luxury lifestyle and beautiful beaches, you need to you make them convinced with the reality. These are your expenses. This is the high cost of living. This is your opportunity of working and investing and settling down and making family and paying less taxes, enjoying your services in the city, like clean streets, safety, everything, security, everything. So I think the whole thing is about the reality and facts.
agreed. Agreed. Now, I
Beside the
mean,
media thing, because I think that the worst part when it comes to not even in Dubai, everywhere in the world, you have the media thing, which is, of course, projecting everything is flashy and fancy, but it goes beyond that. It needs to be more specific, more detail oriented, and more heart to heart, more clear.
I agree. And this is why I like having these conversations, right? Because you're there, you're experiencing it, right? And you yourself acknowledge there's pros and cons, like anywhere in the world. I do not care where you live. Here in New York
Definitely.
City, there's pros and there's cons. Dubai, pros and
Yes.
cons. Okay. So it's very important to acknowledge that. So you're genuinely helping an investor. It's not just about sell, sell, sell. This is all the good things. There's nothing bad. No, that's not the way, right? And I think that's misleading, correct?
Yes. Yes.
I
Yes.
know I know that obviously Dubai is so much going on out there and there's obviously so many developers going into the country. So how are you guys navigating that, the added competition?
So here's the strategy of Dubai's land department, which I mentioned previously. It's a government entity. Every 10 years, every decade, uh, the government uh, determined 10% of the total land or total land space of the city for the development and investment and construction investment. So
Okay.
every 10 years, you have 10% of the general land capacity of the city is offered for the developers to construct and to launch projects. And in this market, if you figure it as a pie, every developer has a piece of that pie, and the market share and the penetration rate is, of course, different. So, based on the market share, based on the penetration rate, based on the, let's say, sales value, profit values, of course, because the sales value is not a whole point, is not a reliable index, and is not everything. It's not enough. So sufficiently, we need to have more. We need to have more clear number as a quantitative index. So we're specifying the profit rate of that certain developer, and we see how is this developer doing. So from there, on that side, we can ensure our investors, okay, hey, if you want this luxury project, you want this, so this developer is a well-known company because it provides uh, many five-star services like number one, strategic location, good location, nearby airport, nearby downtown Dubai, nearby blah blah blah. Number two, quality of construction, whether in facade, whether in interior design, whether in piping system, everything. And number three, the future value, or let's say the reputation of the company, which dedicate to the reputation of the owners, because it's a win-win relationship. If I buy a property from a well-known developer, so it's a win for them and win for me when I want to sell it. So I'm not gonna end up the final buyer and seller of this property itself. So these are the factors which are very important to navigate those change factors and come up with a very simple solution and narrow down the search funnel for our investors and to tell them, see, hey, this is good, this is better, this is the best, but what suits you is number, for example, ABCD developer project. And so we're trying to make them facing the reality and pivot them the whole things and mostly navigate their demands and to see what type of demography they're from. Okay, if they're like a business traveler, frequent business traveler, and looking for future investors, we're providing this solution. If they're looking for like raising kids, family, so we're offering them that project with the villa community. And so it's a variable thing.
Definitely. Now, tell me a little bit about Shoba, because obviously you're part of the marketing team there. You run it. Tell me a little bit. How does Shoba try to differentiate themselves from the other developers?
Definitely. So the company relies on three main factors, what I call it the three major core competencies. Number one is their strategic locations. So they're targeting the most futuristic and strategic locations in Dubai. They're very niche when it comes to picking a location and picking the most important plot in that location to build a project. Number two is their quality is very outstanding comparing to other construction developers. Because the contractor, the engineers, the let's say uh, uh, backward operation belongs to them, or it's a part of their uh, um, hierarchy, and they're doing the backward integration when it comes to uh, their supply chain and their services. So they're having the control of their subsidiaries, like the contractors, the engineers, the raw materials, as long as it's not imported materials from overseas. So they have the domination over the R&D, the research and developers, and those construction, let's say, procedures. And number three, or the third core competency, I believe that Shoba is in their pricing model. They're trying to be fair and they're trying to be uh, on the edge, like not too pricey, not lower price, or that they're looking to this very uh, financially more stabilized and more, let's say, futuristic. So I believe these three core competencies come in mind when you're talking about Shoba.
It's very interesting how, again, I can't speak on the other developers because I've only spoken to you and obviously Cynthia about Shoba. But it's very interesting how they control every step of the way, so they ensure the highest quality. Because I mean, you would think that it's just the construction, but no. Where do they source the materials? Where do they get the laborers? Like, I think that's very, very important. Or the companies, the construction companies, right? um
Yes.
it's very, very, I think that way it ensures the quality of Shoba. And again, it's showing so many projects that we're seeing pop up, and beautiful villas, seaside apartments. It's very nice. I wanted to talk about, well, I see the Coraline Beaches residence and Shoba Solis. Like, those are some of the ones that I had to write them down because I didn't want to botch the names, but I was looking at them and it's just amazing. The amount of detail that goes to the marketing, the pictures, how to portray themselves. It's amazing. Now, I wanted to ask you, so for the distribution of the apartments, right? What do you see as the most popular, or investors are seeing the most amount of interest in? What type of residence? Like one bedrooms, two bedrooms?
Of course, when it comes to the let's say selecting or choosing a proper, let's say, property to buy, so you should look at the numbers and the market flow. So what I see, the one bed is mostly sold in Dubai in purposes of leasing it or renting it out or investment purposes, let's say. And so this is the highest, let's say, number. And number two, what I've seen or I've been witnessing during the last decade, especially after COVID, is the increase of sales records in townhouses and standalone villas. So basically, and of course, culturally in Dubai, uh, people are very open to standalone villas, which are like independent villas, not wall to wall. So you have more privacy for the residents in the villa. So it comes from mostly from the Middle Eastern culture and Arab cultures that they're valuing the privacy. So the demand in the market also, let's say, appeals to bring more investors in that area, but not investors for investment, investors for living purposes in those townhouses. So townhouses and independent villas, it's the rank two of uh, property category. But number one, of course, the it's apartment flat with one bed is the highest rank. Yeah.
And why do you think that is? That the most popular is the one bed? Because here in New York, two beds are the most popular, right?
Yes.
Because the idea is over here, if you have a girlfriend or a boyfriend, whatever it may be, and you're eventually get married and eventually thinking about kids, they want to have that extra bedroom. And in the meantime, they'll probably have it as an office space. So it's curious. I wanted to ask you why do you think it's the one bedroom that dominates, that's predominantly sold in Dubai?
So what numbers showing that it's the purpose of investment. So it's easy to rent, and of course, for many people are who are willing to live in Dubai, so they're foreseeing the future for the next 10 years or 5 years or maybe less than like 3 or 2 years. They're seasonal workers. Maybe so they're back their home countries for like 2 or 3 months and then they're going back to Dubai, especially in hot season. So this is the perspective they have, and this affect the general status of market as well. So that's why the demand for one bed is in a higher, in a better position comparing to other property categories.
Mm. So you
And
were
of course,
saying,
Dubai is not as I mean geographically is not as big as or large as New York. So you cannot compare them in certain aspect, but it's fast paced, of course. It's dynamic, of course. But again, it's the demography things. So when it comes to the cultural aspect of people who live here, different than people who live in New York, and it's the whole city vibes or city culture which affects it heavily.
yeah, I mean, it's true. It's very different. Here in New York, obviously, I mean, you've lived here, right? And you've heard of people living in these very small apartments in the city. Again, it's
Yes.
prime real estate, but that's why they're paying $3,000-$4,000 for a one bedroom or even a studio.
Yes.
It's insane. And listen,
Yes.
it's only going up, right? It's only going up. And this is important, even in Dubai, right? If somebody's out there just possibly renting out, if somebody's living there, the idea would be to eventually buy because you are losing money, right? You want to be able to, instead of paying somebody else's mortgage, You want to pay your own mortgage, right? And then eventually it goes up in value. Um, so
Yes.
the townhouses and the villas. So is that like a common theme that you're seeing more people are starting to buy?
Yes, of course, because some values of the prices of those townhouses are equal to apartments in prime areas. So people with families uh, also think that way, that okay, if I live in this area and I have a 3 bed or 4 bed townhouse duplex with let's say a pool in the yard and the backyard and 2 or 3 parking areas. So this is superb for me. So why I should pay this amount of money and live in a prime area? So it's a matter of choice, and we've seen this jump or this hike in numbers during let's say the first half of the 2020 decade after COVID until now. So it was very considerable, by the way.
Ye-
And many developers start to launch projects containing those townhouse areas, the wings and beach sides, and maybe uh, nearby artificial lakes, or let's say lagoon, crystal lagoons. So making it more fancier and more attractive to invest as families and as people who want to live in Dubai, like live in their property, not to uh, invest.
Definitely, right? That's true. And generally those people may pay more because they're
Of
gonna live in
course,
these places. As opposed to somebody just looking at it as an investment, they're, you know, you always think that the property is going to go up, but they may start looking at what can they get now. But if somebody's gonna live there, they're you know they're gonna it's gonna be more of an emotional buy as opposed to logical. So yeah, I know
definitely.
that's very interesting. Um, Khalid, can you tell me a little bit about offsite offsite planning and purchasing? Because I know that's very big, and now a lot of people have asked me about it. I know in the last interview I had with Cynthia, some of them were asking me about that. So can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, of course. So uh, let's talk after COVID a little bit and the experience of COVID, because I believe that's heavily influenced by those changes in the market after COVID-19 era and the first and the second lockdown globally. So I've had many American friends, especially in blue states like California and New York, and they were their businesses affected negatively by many statewide restrictions. So many of those companies went bankrupt or uh, went through the edge of liquidation and let's say the fall. So and when I brought the Dubai idea to them, and they were very shocked, to be honest, because they were amazed by the general look, the big picture, the lifestyle. It's pretty much like the American dream lifestyle. So, and they were insured of their financial and taxing uh, regulations and things that are very, very, uh, lower taxes than the US, and they were on the safe side. And so they're pretty much convinced of this idea. And I ran a campaign. It was like a marketing and fundraising and investing campaign for my investors through Zoom meetings day and night. And we're trying to clarify everything for them. And some of the people from Florida were coming here like this summer to Dubai, and we were taking into tours to those development sites and projecting the future of the project for them. So this was a very bright side of that, let's say, uh, overseas real estate investment for American people.
Yeah, no, it's 100% true. I mean, again, we're seeing so much changes there in Dubai. Sorry, you were gonna add something?
And no, no, no. I was just something brought to my mind, that many people are uncertain about the next pandemic. So it's a good thing to bring up for the audiences, that I've heard of this mentality that, okay, we're very uncertain about the next thing, and if the next thing is coming up, any contagious disease or whatever, god forbid, any virus coming up from any lab or anything in nature, we don't know. So we should live in somewhere kind of that we feel it's safe in terms of financial and economic impacts or aftershock, right? So this was a mentality which came to my attention, and it was a concern for many, especially people in the United States. They had the same hypotheses and doubts, and I could provide clear answer for them that, okay, this can be very serious. Why not? So living in a place with less restrictions, like economically, if you want to let your business grow, even if it's a startup, small business, so you need to think of a safe environment. That's very important. Besides the regulation and taxation system or whatever. So who knows the next pandemic,
Yeah, yeah. No, it's
right?
true. Again, it's none of us have a crystal ball, but all we can do is prepare for the worst and hope for the best, right? Um, so I know in Dubai, the taxes, that's a big thing that obviously businesses, I'm not too sure about it, but I know there's no income tax or businesses have little taxes. Can you, I mean, if you have some insight on that, if you can explain.
Yes, we have corporate taxes, not is very low in amount and in percentage, and but there is no property tax.
No property
There
tax.
is no property tax, and there are also some like government fees, which are we're not calling it taxes. It's like the um just the government fares and fees, and they're not taxes associated with the purchase of the property. And there is value added tax only for Dubai's residents on retail items and like daily like grocery items or retail products. So that's the whole thing. So we're not dealing with taxes here in the UAE.
You know, it's a very common theme again, especially here in New York, right? We have some of the highest property taxes in the country. The average, I mean, listen, there's New York City. Obviously, the five boroughs, the taxes aren't as high, but it's
Yes.
because the properties are pretty expensive compared. So the property taxes compared to the sales value is not as much. But so I'll give you a perfect example. Here in Queens, you're looking at anywhere between $5,000 to $7,000 in property taxes, right? Which again, it may sound like a lot compared to other states, but in New York is not a lot. If you go out to Nassau County, right, which is east of Queens,
Yes.
you're starting to look at 10, 15, 20,000. I've looked at listings for some clients of mine up in Great Neck and Port Washington. These areas have it goes up to when you're starting to hit the ultra luxury market. You're starting to look at 30, 40, $50,000 in taxes. And then Suffolk County, which is east of Nassau, it starts going down, right? Obviously, there's certain sectors that are a little bit more expensive, but the majority of people live in the boroughs and Nassau. So, in downstate specifically, and yeah, some of the property taxes are insane, and a lot of people are again considering buying property, moving out to Dubai, and I know a few people that already have, because of the taxes is so minimal, right? And again,
Yeah,
you'd want to move there, right? It's an incentive. So what happens? You move there, you start buying goods, you start buying services. So it's not just about the property itself, it's about everything else. Everything else gets affected in a positive way, and everything starts going up. So again, it's
exactly.
very, very interesting. I wanted to ask that. Now, I know, and again, thank you for your time, Khalid. I know it's almost 8 o'clock
Anytime.
over there.
No,
Um,
it's totally fine. It's pleasure to have you, and I'm ready to have this interview every day because, to be honest, I enjoy spreading the knowledge. If I have something, I share it. It's amazing, to be honest. Why not? So, I had a podcast session with affiliate, let's say, investment company affiliate with the European Union and the UAE's Commerce Chamber and Dubai's Chamber. It was about ensuring European citizens of investment security and safety in Dubai, and that was a pretty experience, very amazing experience, to be honest, and I enjoy it.
no, yeah, of course. It's good spreading. This is why I started this podcast. It's more of, I would travel around. I'm not a big traveler, but I would travel to some places around the country, around the world rather. And I would always wonder, how do you invest here? Right. And the United States, they have, I mean, here, real estate investment information is a dime a dozen. You hear it so much, it's everywhere. But there's
Exactly.
not so much information about investing internationally. So
Yes.
I'm glad to have these conversations so people know, like, somebody like you that, again, you live there, you experiencing it, you're working with these investors. So you're giving them the correct information. And it's
Yes.
a way for us to, I mean, listen, New York City it's huge, and obviously the United States, and they don't know who to go to, right? So it would be somebody like, if they come to me, I'll be like, hey, listen, speak to Cynthia, speak to Khalid, right? Khalid, rather, sorry.
It's okay.
So they can help you, right? They can help you with your next purchase.
Yes.
They've done it. They've been in the business. But again, thank you very much for this. I wanted to ask you one last thing here.
Sure.
Because again, we're having fun here. We're having fun. Um, okay, so do you guys have any other exciting projects that Shoba is looking for to open or develop?
I don't know if you heard of it or not. We are building a project in a natural island.
Oh
It's
yes,
the
I heard of that.
only, yes, it's in Goin. It's a northern emirate of the country with the habitat of some species and national animals species,
Really?
and the conservatory park. Yes, a conservation park in that area, which is amazing. And the company started to launch a project containing townhouses, villas, apartments, seaside and beachside apartments, uh, 1 to 2 bed, 1 to 3 bed, and this is kind of exciting for our investors, particularly in the last 2 months when it hit the news and the real estate magazines all over the country. And you mentioned one thing about the international uh, investment purposes and accessing to a reliable information source for many American citizens. I've heard that nowadays, especially e-magazine and social media, can have both negative and positive impact on the public awareness about everything in the world. not even not only the investment purposes or going overseas or buying a property or uh, getting a trade license or maybe establishing a company or whatever. It's about facing the mathematics and numbers and the clarity. It's all about that. And the rest of it, it's the decision of the investor himself. So at the end of the day, they're going to decide. So if this country suits them or not. So I believe, like I heard, I've seen it actually. It's in Bloomberg, Bloomberg Middle East, I believe. Yes, that the amount of rich people in UK, in Britain, they're prioritizing UAE over their own homeland, their own country for investing. So many of them are, and they were using the word escaping. They were running away from the country because the crimes went up in UK, racial discrimination in, I don't know, a certain way, uh, harassment to rich people, I don't know, whatever, taxing system, and all those barriers and all those obstacles were a part of the thing that made them uh, to invest in overseas destinations like Dubai, the foreign investment purposes. So this is a good thing, by the way. And if we're trying to talk numbers and mathematics, so if we are bringing examples of this, it can be pretty much effective to do the awareness and to spread the knowledge. It's very important.
It is. It is. Again, there's a lot of misinformation out there, and
Exactly.
it's so many. And again, with the media, you again, I think it unfortunately, it's like what we were talking about before. They would highlight certain things that, for example, I mean, growing up, I'm gonna give you a very honest, raw example. So, growing up, the media here in the United States, historically, they were very especially with the 9/11 attacks, they like to attack the Muslim community, Muslim culture, Muslim religion. And I grew up, so again, I have a blessing that I grew up in Queens, in New York City. Why? Because I grew up with so many Muslim friends, Afghanis, Pakis, uh, parts of India, like genuinely the nicest people I've ever met. And funny enough, I played
Many
soccer.
Arab people are living in Astoria, right?
Oh, definitely, 100%.
Yeah,
I played soccer with them. I played soccer with.
yeah.
I had a Yemeni friend that I grew up playing soccer with in my high school. Right. It's amazing. It's amazing. And like
It's like a Bay
you,
Ridge in Brooklyn.
what was that?
Bay Ridge in Brooklyn.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Oh, I didn't know
they
that.
had the similar minority, let's say, zip code in Brooklyn with the Arabs and Muslim community. Yes, it's I'm totally on the same page with you. It's like the whole Islamophobia or Arabophobia things that, but I think, thanks God, it's been like 20 years after the tragedy of 9/11 that we passed that. We passed that era, to be honest. But now we're living, as you said, disinformation era, which is way worse than that. Like, I've had many American friends, and some of them are. It's funny, when I came to New York in 2015, before I getting my own apartment, I've had a roommate and I was when I was living in Brooklyn, not Brooklyn downtown. It was like I don't exactly recall it. It's Williamsburg.
Gotcha.
My first apartment. Yes, in Williamsburg. So he asked me a funny question. Said, "Okay, you guys." Are all of you guys are driving Ferrari and Lambo and those luxury cars in UAE? And are you really a friend of Prince because you have a very small population, so everybody are like friends of each other? And are you having coffee with Prince of Dubai every day? It's funny. I was like,
It's
dude,
crazy.
it's not like that. It's the power of media that, okay, if I speak more realistic, uh, so it's kind of they're broadcasting a fear. Okay, and if you want to come to Dubai and invest, so you need to have a large pocket of money. So because you cannot uh, survive, it's very luxurious, very pricey and very fancy. No, it's not like that. A lot of people from middle to high class are living here, and it's not about that's what I'm saying, that media can have a negative impact on public opinion, especially for people who are not living in Dubai and overseas, and because they're not seeing it. They're just the only thing they're confronted with there, it's the media, it's the screen of the Instagram, Explorer, Facebook. All those images are kind of flashy, by the way, and they think, wow, this is Dubai, so why the hell I should invest in there? It's very pricey, especially for many American citizens, that they're price centric people,
Yep.
and it's not making sense for them if they want to buy like uh the $6, the Starbucks, the price of $7. So it's like, wow, why? So if you pivot the idea, it's not only Starbucks there, you have other companies, you have other coffee places, and it's that, okay, if any American brand goes overseas, in order for them to operate, they need to provide more expensive prices than what it is at home. So it's all about clarity. It's all about clarity and the reality. So that was my last conversation with Cynthia as well. So we had the same thing, that okay, we need to do more podcasts, we need to do more even seminars, webinars for people in Europe and in America, all around the world, to face more facts rather than
100.
rumors and I don't know, Habibi, come to Dubai, this is pricey, this is that. If I don't know, this whole thing is just bad. So it's not, to be honest, living here is not expensive.
Really?
I've been living in 3 or 4 cities of the most dynamic cities in the world: LA, in New York, here, and I've been traveling to many places. And when I dig in more deeper and deeper in my city, I don't find it that pricey, to be honest. Comparing to those services you're getting, it's the value of the money.
Mm,
It's the value of the money. Yeah, it's not over pricey.
it's true. No, I mean, listen, you said it. You've lived in these big cities, and you would know. If anybody would
Yeah.
know, you would know, right? Um,
And
but
with the price of, let's say, with the price of a decent apartment here in Dubai, with facility or amenity like the swimming pool at the rooftop, you have the jacuzzi, spa, whatever, gym, 24/7 gym. So these facility all in your apartment, let's say with that price, what you can get in New York or LA, you tell me,
oh no,
right?
I know. Oh, my goodness.
Maybe even if in red states, or maybe in Texas with low taxes, or Florida, of course you need to have a base. You need to have a like a life, right? But here in Dubai, I think you have more choices to live with that price, with that value.
It's true. It's true. What are some of the like average, I mean, ballpark. I know it's such a wide range, but like for example, a one bedroom apartment near downtown, how much can that go for? Like in the
It can
financial
go
aspect.
for Yeah, for the better, it starts from almost less than $500,000.
Wow. In the city center.
Yes,
Wow.
yes, starting from $450,000 dollars to up, and it's a luxury building though. Like you
That's the
have,
thing.
as I said, full board amenities, like things that you cannot imagine to have if you live in Wilshire Boulevard in LA, or in West Hollywood, or even in Orange County in California, because I was also a business developer manager at a company operating in luxury segment real estate in Laguna Niguel and Irvine. So based on my experience, if you want to rent an apartment there, it's floating between 2.2 to 2.4 minimum
Wow.
monthly, right?
Wow.
This is before COVID, Kevin. And now I'm talking to my friends in Orange County. They're giving me numbers like crazy, like 2.5, 2.6. Turtle Ridge in it's an expensive zip code in Orange County. It goes above 4,000 for one bed
A month. My
a
goodness.
month. This is this is huge. So I've seen this and I'm comparing it. So that's why I can have more clear, more picture to judge and to provide this judgment to my people, to my audiences, whoever it is, friends, family, investors, clients.
Of course. If just so you know, for some context, one bedrooms here in, I mean, condos, right? Because there's also co-ops here in New York City.
Yeah, yeah,
Condos, and for the audience that doesn't know, co-ops, you don't really own the apartment. You have a proprietary lease, and you own shares in the corporation. Okay, and those shares equal to the how big the apartment is. But in just so you guys know, you don't really own the apartment. You have a proprietary lease. And a condo, it's different. It's more expensive. You do have a deed, and you own the square that you live in. Okay, so that's
yeah,
the difference. So a one bedroom apartment here in Queens, right? And I'm talking about like the most bare minimum. I don't even think they have a doorman, right? It's just like a building. You're looking at like around 500,000. 450 minimum, absolute minimum, and it's probably an apartment that needs a lot of work. And it's probably
yeah,
an old apartment, pre-war, and probably walk up. Okay, and if there's an elevator, it's probably super small, but the
yeah.
most basic living. Now you're talking
Stairway
about,
like this,
yeah, oh yeah,
one
definitely.
person capacity, and
Definitely.
the rats.
And, oh my god, the rats
You'd
are
have
a
seen
problem.
it was a poisoning company came to my place in Soho in Bleecker Street, so in Lower Manhattan. I was paying almost 2.5 studio, and
And this was
every
2015.
month, yes, 20, to be honest, 20, I moved there in 2017 and 2019,
Still a
and I
while
ended
back.
up living in 20. See, every month we needed to call a company to uh, take care of rats. We couldn't do
Wow.
anything, couldn't help it. It's miserable, to be honest, awful.
It's
Yeah.
it's a problem here. The knowledge that you have is amazing. Any way we can help you spread the word about any projects, any of that, like we'll be gladly to do that. Okay.
Of course, I'm gonna pick few for you, and in a very, I mean, not far future. So we're gonna work on them things that are catered for American investors, that are convenient for them in terms of their demographic characteristics. That's why, because we're trying to customize um, the the market inventory for our investors and provide them with the best thing ever for them that suits them. So it's like a melting pot here in UAE. We have like 100 as of the Homeland Security statistics. We have 140 nationality living here.
Wow.
So yes, based on their cultural, their demographic characteristics, we need to cater uh, a residential project for every type of the characteristic, and we need to know what type of things are a priority for them, right? And when it comes to American investors, it's a whole different thing,
Mm.
right? Because we're talking about upscale American demography, right? People who are corporate people who are investors, people who are business owners. Yeah.
Of course. And listen, again, we have a huge network here. Like I was telling you in the beginning, we run a team here of around 18 agents. You know, we cater mostly to medical professionals. Okay, but that's not the only people that we cater to. But we cater to a lot of medical professionals. So obviously, we're going to spread the word to them. We're part of lots of associations. So again, how if somebody would want to reach out to you, what's the best way to reach out to you? Social media.
Well, social media is amazing. Also, the social platforms like WhatsApp Business, and in certain thing when it comes to video conference or the virtual tour, we can do Skype Business. So all are good, all are fine.
Beautiful. Do you have an Instagram handle by any chance?
Yes.
Okay, so if you guys want to reach out to Khalid, this is his Instagram handle. Again, it was a pleasure speaking to you, Khalid. You're very, very knowledgeable. Anything you need from us here in New York, we would love to help you out. And obviously, we'll definitely be in touch. Okay.
Amazing. We will. Thank you very much.